Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Ant on Music for the year 2026. Can you believe we survived 2025 and the holiday madness? And here we are back at it once again. I'd like to thank all the people that have joined recently, have subscribed. I really do appreciate it. Everyone that leaves feedback, love you guys too. It's always great to have conversations about the music that I'm presenting to you and the stuff that you're into. Still catching up on stuff that I got over the holiday season. Boxes are still arriving. As you know, I try to keep you in tune with what is out there as far as new music releases and also places where you can get good deals on stuff. It's like it's not just about me collecting stuff. I like to let people know, and I like to hear what you guys have to say as well, as far as what you've been listening to, what you'd like to see me present on the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're not new here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe because I want you to subscribe. Please drop some likes, drop some comments in there. It helps improve my standing in the algorithm. It makes this show go wider and farther, which is what it's all about. Aside from the music, of course. So what do I got for you? Well, got basically a bunch of re-releases this week. Stuff that I picked up from various labels and whatnot, and got some Rhino stuff as well, because I'm still catching up on the 12 days of Rhino stuff that I purchased. If you're unfamiliar, haven't seen the prior episode, every year Rhino Records, all right, they're a big purveyor of re-releases, legacy releases, and they have a pretty big catalog of stuff that they put out. And every year for the first couple of days of December, 12 days, they do 12 days of Rhino, all right? And each day is a different artist or genre or theme, and they have stuff of that artist on sale. So there is some stuff that I did manage to pick up, and I'm going to share that with you today. But before we get into that, first thing I want to show you is something I picked up through Deco Records, kind of, the phone is always listening sort of deal. So I don't know if anybody heard, but Triumph is coming back for a tour. I was fortunate to see Triumph only once back on the Sport of Kings tour. I believe it was out at the old Brendan Byrne Arena in New Jersey. And they had Yngwie Malmsteen opening up. Yngwie J. Malmsteen, all right? Well, this is a quasi-Triumph release. It's their leader, Rick Emmett. It is a collection of his solo work. It's called Diamonds, the best of Rick Emmett, all right, of the hard rock years, 1990-95. I do love Triumph, like Rick Emmett a lot. Don't have anything really of his solo, and this is a great way, if you're not terribly into picking up the whole catalog of stuff, it's a great way always to feel it out and see if it's something you want to get into. So this is a pretty damn good album, pretty solid from Emmett, and it's exactly what you'd expect. It is the only colored vinyl album I have to show you this week. It is this really cool blue. It's almost as if it's got a little marbling to it. If you check real close, hard to tell. But yeah, it does have a marbling effect to it. And it's got a pretty solid set of songs, many of which I've been unfamiliar with. I've listened to the album once. I do dig it. Rick's got a good voice, and his guitar playing is just outstanding. It kicks off with a tune called Drive Time. Another song on here called Straight Up. Bang On. Saved by Love. When a Heart Breaks. Big Lie. Rainbow Man, Middle Ground, and The Hardest Part. And it is a pretty solid album. It does come with this insert here that gives you some information, some background on the tracks that you're listening to, and pretty solid stuff. I'm sure somebody will tell me how much they love Rick Emmett in the comments, and exactly which one of these albums is the best of the bunch. But this carries a lot of good stuff on there, so it's a great way to get into Rick Emmett. And I got it for a steal. I got it for like $15, I think, through Deco Records, and you may want to go check them out. They do have a lot of hard rock and heavy metal on there. That is EKO Records online. Lots of great stuff there. Now we get into the Rhino stuff, the first of the Rhino stuff, and then we'll get into a newer re-release. This is from Rhino Records. This is the first time this has been released on vinyl. Fleetwood Mac, okay, Say You Will, all right, and it's 4/5 of the original band. Christine McVie was not part of the project, but it does have a couple of great tunes on here with the title track and Peacemaker, you know, as noted right here. There are other solid tracks on here as well. What's the World Coming To kicks it off. I do like Running Through the Garden, and Bleed to Lover is a great tune as well. And this is pretty plain. You know, basic black, nothing to see there, no inserts, no liner notes. But I have it on CD. It's the first time it's been released on vinyl. Did come out a couple of years back, but finally got around to getting it, and I got a steal for this too through Rhino Records. I think it was like $19. So glad to have this in my Fleetwood Mac collection, which seems to be growing and growing and growing. Next up, this is an album I'm really, really super excited for. Had a conversation online on Facebook with an old colleague of mine, Monty Connor, who is an A&R rep, and used to do a lot of talk with him over metal releases. And he does a series on his Facebook page about album covers. And one of the ones he did recently was on the next band, which is the Counting Crows. And if you have HBO, HBO also put out a documentary of the Counting Crows up until this album, Recovering the Satellites. And this is the new vinyl pressing, all right? It's a remastered edition, and it sounds fantastic. I, as I stated to Monty, am a unabashed Counting Crows fan. I know that's hard to believe, but you got to give credit where credit is due. Adam Duritz is a phenomenal songwriter, and you know, I really dig their stuff. This album, all right, Recovering the Satellites, is their sophomore album. Now, granted, August and Everything After, all right, back up over there, sold like 7 million plus copies. This was obviously one of those albums where they say it's the sophomore slump. It only sold 2 million copies, which is still a phenomenal amount of music units to move. But, you know, I'll tell you, I think this album is really solid. It rocks a lot harder than the debut. And this was pretty much the height of their, you know, the Counting Crows mania. So you get the gatefold there, get the track listings on the back, all right? And, you know, basic black album, but you do have these inner sleeves, which give you the lyrics and liner notes, and it is a 2 LP set. Of course, this has probably their second most well-known track of their career with Along December. But in addition to that, it kicks off with Catapult, which is really, you know, a fantastic tool. It launches you into the stratosphere, so to say. And, you know, they have other songs on here as well that are fantastic. Angels of the Silences, Daylight Fading, I'm Not Sleeping, Goodnight Elizabeth, Monkey, which is a song written for, that Adam wrote for Courtney Cox of Friends fame. I mean, the guy dated 2/3 of the Friends cast. Lisa Kudrow's the only one that escaped. Children in Bloom, Have You Seen Me Lately, which is a great tune of him dealing with fame. Mercury, let's see, Another Horse Dreamer's Blues, the title track, Miller's Angels, and it closes out with Walkaways. Just a stunning album top to bottom. I have seen them live. They do different versions of their tunes live. So if you've never seen them before, it's a little bit unsettling, I guess. But, you know, great album, great stuff. Really glad that they re-released this. Crows was one of those bands came out in the 90s where I was only buying CD. So as they put this stuff out, I'm eating it up. And I cannot wait for them to put out Hard Candy, which is probably my favorite album by them, which is, you know, I think it's very underrated. But that moves us on to a triple header here of stuff from Rhino. And why did I not do that with the other stuff? Well, with the Fleetwood Mac release, real simple. because it's all Black Sabbath, all right? And it's the Ronnie James Dio years, part 1. Okay, so what do we got here? All right, we've got the band of Geezer Butler, Ronnie James Dio, Tony Iommi, and Bill Ward, the 1980 album, remastered, all right? Talking about Heaven and Hell, which ended up coming back as Heaven and Hell later on, before Ronnie passed. And I got these through Rhino during their 12 Days of Rhino sale. And the gimme on these albums are that they're stretched to doubles, okay? And you get all sorts of information here in the liner notes. The albums are basic black, so nothing for me to show you there. The inner sleeves, basic black as well. All the info you ever wanted regarding the recording and where the band was at the time is in that inner gatefold sleeve, okay? Now, some people will say this is the better of the two albums. I'll fight you on it. This does have some outstanding tracks. It's got Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell, Die Young, and Lonely is the Word. Now, the real gimme, of course, is the rarity stuff, the second LP. So you get Children of the Sea, which is the live B-side of Neon Nights, Heaven and Hell, live 7-inch edit from the B-side of Die Young, Lady Evil in mono, the 7-inch edit, Neon Nights live in 1980, Children of the Sea live in 80, Heaven and Hell live in 80, and Die Young live in 80. So, you get that. So it is a great way to have the album remastered and get those additional bonus tracks. So very cool. And obviously I have the original of that on CD. I didn't get it on vinyl. I thought I had it on vinyl originally. I never got it. It probably means I probably had it on cassette before CD. Remember those? Next up, the infamous Kill Ozzy album, Mob Rules. And if you look at the bottom of, I think it's Greg Brandt, who's the artist on this? Greg Hildebrandt. Says right there. Should have read it before I spoke. The album that followed up, Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, fantastic album. I love this album. This album for me is probably the best of the Ronnie James Dio eras. Like I said, fight me on it. And it is a gatefold album. All right. With this album, okay, you do get a change in drummer as well. Vinny Appice is the drummer on here. Bill Ward was not included in this project. Like I said, if you look at the bottom here, Greg Hildebrandt kind of put in here Kill Ozzy, which was very, very, so controversial back when it came out. And this, once again, you get the original album remastered, which, kicks off with Turn Up the Night. What a great tune. Voodoo, Sign of the Southern Cross. What a great, great song. E5150, which is this really cool guitar intro, and that goes into the title track, Mob Rules, and it just really kicks the crap out of you when it breaks from E5150 into Mob Rules. Country Girl, Slipping Away, Falling Off the Edge of the World, and Over. Just a fantastic, fantastic album. So what do you get as far as the bonus stuff goes? Well, the bonus stuff, what you get is you get the bonus tracks. You get the heavy metal soundtrack version of Mob Rules, Die Young live from live B-side from Mob Rules, new mix from 2021 of Mob Rules, Sign of the Southern Cross, Heaven and Hell, the reprise, live in Portland, Oregon back in '82. Then you get more live stuff. You get live at the Hammersmith Odeon London in 81. You get 4 more songs: Country Girl, Slipping Away, Mob Rules, and Voodoo. And this is also, plain inners, just basic black. Nothing to see there. So you get all that. Very, very cool. Now, this all culminated with the next LP, all right? And that is a box set. And it has been called, at the time, the greatest live album of all time. I believe it was Kerrang that said that. Set-wise, maybe. Performance-wise, yeah, it's up there. Sound-wise, not so much. Really wasn't that good sounding-wise. All right. Talking about Black Sabbath, Live Evil, the Super Deluxe version. So Live Evil, the Super Deluxe version right there. And we're going to take a look at this. It's a pretty cool box set. Just need to wet the whistle a bit. So, what do we get here? I bought the vinyl version of this. Now, I have the original, as you can tell. It's up behind me somewhere. Yeah, it's right back there next to the crows. The recording on that album, it was produced by Geezer and Tony, and really wasn't that good. You know, it didn't have the greatest sound to it, despite, you know, really fantastic performances. This is the sleeve that's attached on the back under the shrink wrap, so obviously putting that in the box. And this is another Rhino release that I managed to get for a really good price. I believe it was like $59 through the Rhino website back during their 12 days of Rhino. First thing you get when you open up this beautiful hardcover book, you see all the various characters from Sabbath songs represented up front. You know, the Neon Knight, Person Who's Paranoid, Children of the Sea, you name it, it's on here. You know, very cool stuff. The Mob from the Mob Rules. And some beautiful Black Sabbath wallpaper in there. And the book goes on, one of the best live albums. Kerrang, right there. I tell no lies. And it's the, the five-piece band of Geezer, Ronnie, Tony, Vinny Appice, and Jeff Nichols on keyboards. And it's from, the tour of Mob Rules. And you get a real in-depth look as you go through of the tour there. But that's not all you get. All right. In addition to that, you get a replica of the Mob Rules tour book, which is really, really nice. I didn't get to see them on this tour. I didn't get to see Sabbath till much later in life. I believe I didn't get to see Sabbath till Ozzy returned. So late 90s. So I saw the reunion tour. But this is great to have this replica of the band at their height with Ronnie James Dio. Very cool. One of the cool stories I could tell about Ronnie James Dio, my best friend, all right, he went to college up at SUNY Cortland, New York. Go Dragons, all right? And one day he was listening to this album, all right, to the Mob Rules album, I believe. Or maybe it was even Dio. Might have been a Dio album. And the chambermaid for the college came in and said, "Oh, you're listening to my nephew." And he was kind of like, "What? Get out of here." And all of a sudden she pulls out her wallet and has a picture of her with Ronnie. Apparently, Ronnie is from Central New York, and his aunt was a chambermaid at Cortland, SUNY Cortland University. So pretty cool. It's like, how cool is that? At the height of that guy's fame, and this his aunt's chambermaid. Another thing you get in this massive Black Sabbath poster. Very cool. Let's try and get it all in there so you can see it. Very neat. I don't have enough wall space in my entire home for this, and my wife would disown me if I ever put all this stuff up. God bless her. She puts up with a lot of crap with my music. As far as the albums go, you get the original album with the original sound, which is nothing to compare to the remastered one. The remastered one really does kick ass. As far as the inners go, once again, everything's basic black. It is Black Sabbath. So that kind of makes sense. But you do get a reimagined 40th anniversary release of this with reimagined cover and artwork. Track work stays the same, and I believe it's Wynn Davis is credited with in basic black again, with doing the remaster, and it's a really excellent job. So this is also available, I believe, as a single LP, or at least it's a cheaper version on CD if you want to check it out. It kicks off with E5150, Neon Knights, NIB, Children of the Sea, Voodoo. Might as well, it's like I'm skipping half the album here. Let's see. What did I miss? Oh yeah, because I know it is. They're done as 4 separate LPs. So E5150, Neon Knights, NIB, Children of the Sea, Voodoo, Black Sabbath, War Pigs, and Iron Man. So 3 classic Ozzy tracks right there. Then you get the 2 title tracks from Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell. Then Sign of the Southern Cross into Heaven and Hell continued. I absolutely love Sign of the Southern Cross. Then you close out with Paranoid, Children of the Grave, and Fluff. So Really, really fantastic. Glad to have this in my collection at a sweet price. Can't complain. So that is everything I have to show for you. Why so much old stuff? Well, it's early in the year. Nothing new is really coming out just yet. But I still have more old stuff to show you. A couple of other box sets. Got some new stuff coming on the way. I've been checking out the websites. If you're ever looking to find out what's news coming out, Consequence is a great website to check out. So you may want to give them a look. Obviously, all the labels, you can go check them. Consequence tries to gather everything together. But that is everything for this week. I thank you so much for checking out the channel, checking out the episode. Subscribe. Happy New Year. Until next time, peace, one love, music, and I'm out.